goes, 200 years, there's only been 200 Heisman trophies. There will be only 200 Heisman trophies. So it's made me feel appreciated and make me feel that I'm a part of the legacy of football.
Receiving a trophy for me meant that the UCLA teams of 1965, 66, and 67 would always be remembered.
Well, as a kid, you dream of the time that you throw the touchdown pass with 10 seconds left in the game to win it all.
First down. Aikman's pass is good. To Reggie Moore. Moore's on his way. Touchdown, no flag.
When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a quarterback, and I always dreamed of leading my teams to championships.
He keeps it in the air. Going big. Well, it's over. Touchdown, Trojan.
The most coveted individual award in a team game, the Heisman Trophy. Winner could be decided today as USC's Rodney Peete faces UCLA's Troy Aikman.
From the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, the 58th meeting between the Southern California Trojans and the UCLA Bruins with so much at stake. The Pac-10 championship and a spot to host the Rose Bowl. That's one. There's the possibility of a Heisman Trophy being decided today. And there is the possibility of a national championship. A considerable distraction this week for Southern California. Their quarterback, Rodney Peete, has had the measles. Mike Adamle can update us.
Well, Keith, if you're a Trojan fan, great news. I talked to Rodney during the pregame warm-ups. He will start. He says the only thing he's really worried about is his stamina, but he threw the ball well. His timing is fine. His legs feel fresh. And he will play today for Southern California. He will start today for the Trojans. Keith?
All right, Bob Gracie, he's going to start coming out of the sick bed. You've been there before. What kind of shape can he possibly be in?
Well, I think I was in that same situation. I had the IV in my arm for a couple of days, and if he's feeling all right, the problem that he hasn't practiced all week will not be a problem. Physically, his arms are fresh, his legs are fresh, and mentally he's fresh. Psychologically, nobody expected him to play. He can do no wrong. Everything he does, it could be a bonus. So he has a great opportunity to go out there and really show what he can do.
On the other hand, Troy Aikman has got to produce for UCLA. Southern California won the toss. They will kick off. UCLA will have the ball first. One more word from Mike Adamle.
Well, Keith, as far as Rodney Peete is concerned, I'll tell you what, he's known for his famous smile. And he was smiling again before he walked into the locker room. Keith?
All right. The old stadium is full. I mean, it is really full. And one of the most partisan moments anywhere in college football is about to take place. As USC will kick off, UCLA will return it with Brian Brown, a principal. And Brown comes up across the 25 to about the 28-yard line, and that's where UCLA will go to work.
Making the tackle.
The Bruins wearing the home colors, the blue shirts, Southern California, the visiting team, and USC has never beaten UCLA in the 3 times they have played here at the Rose Bowl. The Bruins moving here from the Coliseum where the 2 teams used to share the home turf. So the man everybody's got their eye on today, Troy Aikman, turns and gives to the fullback, Mark Estwick, and that in itself is a bit of a surprise. The ball is loose, it is fumbled, and the Trojans won it, but the men who control the ball game, the referee Jim Springer, has not definitively said whose ball it is. It is second down. It's UCLA's ball.
Critical call so early in the ball game. First play.
Sending the fullback on the first carry of the game, I think probably also a bit of a surprise, Bob.
Reverse angle, you get to take a look at it. That's a close call, but it looked like the ball was out before he hit the ground.
All right, on second down, Aikman sets him up, gives it this time to Brian Brown. He cuts back into the traffic, and he is close to a first down as he hits it up around the 39-yard line.
Top middle of your screen is the man who is really blocked out of this definitely out before he hits the ground.
It looked like Delmar Chesley came up with it. He thought he had a fumble. And I think probably half the Bruin faithful in the stadium thought he had a fumble, but not so.
Think about something like that, Keith, is if that's going to happen, better to happen on the first play or early in the ball game than decide the game late in the fourth quarter.
They get their first down on their measurement, and so UCLA now with pretty good field position to work for their second series. Mike Farr is out, and Brendan McCracken is in there at a wideout. McCracken, I keep reminding everybody when he comes into the game that he came to UCLA as a quarterback and stayed there for 2 seasons. Here's the first pass to make, and it's drilled to McCracken right at the first down marker, and he may have another UCLA first down. The Bruins now will have a chance to give you the starting lineup. Aikman, of course, is the quarterback. Estrick, the fullback. Brown starts at tailback with Farr and Moore, the wideouts. McCracken will play a lot. Arbuckle is the tight end and a very important figure with Menefield, Meyer, Cornish, Zeno, and Page. And it's the offensive line of UCLA that is a big worry for the Bruins. They need an exceptional effort by their offensive front today. On first down, Aikman gives it back to Brown. Pursuit's good for the Trojans, and they get him right at the line of scrimmage. Defensively for Southern California, they line up with 3 down linemen, Tim Ryan, Don Gibson, and Dan Owens. The linebacking core, Michael Williams, Scott Ross, Delmar Chesley, and Greg Hartziker. The defensive secondary, Hale, Butch, Carrier, and Spears. Butch is playing where Cleveland Coulter has normally played, but Cleveland Coulter has had arthroscopy and is out of the ball game. Head coach of the Trojans is Larry Smith. Head man of the UCLA Bruins is Terry Donahue. Terry trying to call time, and finally he does get a timeout. So, time for the Bruins to talk. The starting center for UCLA and the mainstay in their offensive front, Frank Cornish, was rattled around for a bit, and I think was the stimulant for that Bruin timeout. It's second down and still about 10 as Farr goes in motion for the Bruins. And Aikman gives the ball to Brown again. Brown at midfield is held up by the defensive front of Southern California and stopped. Remember, this is a team that is one of the toughest in the country to run the football against.
Ranked number 1 against the run is Southern Cal's defense. That's why it's very important for Troy Aikman today to have a good game. They're not going to be able to run a lot. They need to try and run and get some yardage, but the pressure is on Aikman to play well if they're going to win.
Third down, Eric Ball is in the lineup with a sore ankle, but he's playing. Bring Farr back toward the ball, and Aikman on a straight drop has his man coming across in the short zone. Farr, who had come back toward the ball in motion, and he makes the catch, and he is going to be short of a first down, and you've got a Trojan down on the field shaken up. That is number 3, Ernest Spears, a cornerback.
Protection is good. A nice opening for Aikman. As you can see him very clearly, that means he can see downfield.
I didn't see Spears get involved in any kind of personal collision, but he right now is on the grass, shaken up, and a timeout for him.
Be the 20th time the Rose Bowl will be on the line for both teams.
Ernest Spears is off the field for the moment. Doctors looking at him. Dwayne Garner replaces him at a corner, goes to the boundary side, 4th down and 2, and UCLA's going for it from the USC 42-yard line. Taking a gamble early on. Aikman back, quick drop, quick pop, good. And first down caught by Mike Farr. Nothing fancy. He just went down 5 steps, stopped right in front of Chris Hale. Hale gave him a little cushion, and Aikman drilled him on the number.
Southern Cal had 8 men up to stop the run. Terry Donahue said that Aikman will be checking off a lot today. That time he saw the quick out was there and picked up the big 4th down.
You got 3 wide outs, a single back. That is Mark Estrick remaining behind the quarterback. They bring Farr to the wide side, and Aikman back to throw on first down from the 36. Pass down the middle is good. just eluded the defense, and Arbuckle picks it up. So Charles Arbuckle, a big target at 6'2", 235, makes his first catch.
Well, the linebackers, Chesley and Ross is 35. They have to cover in the zones. They have to cover the tight end a lot. Pretty tight coverage, but a good throw away from the linebacker and a nice catch by Arbuckle.
And it's second down and 1. The ball at the 27. This is Brian Brown. Brown takes the tackle, breaks it big to the 20. Boy, that's tough running, but there is a penalty flag now. You may have a hold coming here. It's going to be a holding call against UCLA. Talking to the Bruin coach, Terry Donahue, earlier in the week, and the obvious question to me, because of the obvious concern over the offensive front, can you run against USC? He said,
I think you have to run the ball some. If you get into a situation where you can't run and where you just are going to have to throw the ball every single down, I think USC has you in a position that they enjoy. So we're going to try to run the ball. We're going to try to throw the ball. We're going to try to be balanced. We believe in balance, and there's no reason to deviate from that philosophy in this game.
All right, some comments from the Bruin coach earlier this week. Aikman is 4 for 4, 33 yards, 3 different receivers, and 2 first downs. And Ernie Spears is back in now at the cornerback position for Southern California. The penalty moves the football back to the 37 of USC. Trojans have yet to see the ball. We've got 10.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Aikman is throwing. Passes away. Thrown underneath. Caught by Estrick, the fullback. Inside the 30. Dropped at the 29. He's got to go to the 26 to get his first down. Craig Hartzyker, number 40, came flying through and hits Aikman just as he releases the ball. Tipped by one of the Trojans. That's number 92, Gibson, the big man in the middle, but still caught by Estrick. There's one little wrinkle that they put in, Bob, that's a little different. What we've seen from the Bruins, using that fullback early on. Aikman drills it. Pass is knocked away by Hale. Pass intended for David Keating, number 82.
This Trojan defense has not allowed a touchdown in the last 8 quarters of play. We mentioned they're very tough defensively. They lead the Pac-10 in defense and also scoring defense.
This will be a 46-yard try by the place kicker, Alfredo Velasco. He's a good one. 91% this year. The snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is away, and it is good. So, a 46-yard three-pointer by Alfredo Velasco at 9 minutes and 44 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Bruins take the lead on their first possession. Tommy Trojan wrapped in gaffer's tape to keep things like this off him. The Cardinal colors did find its way to the UCLA campus, and the Bruin statue got a little bit. But they doubled the guard, and here's the man who has been the story all week. Rodney Peete had the measles. The temperature got up to around 102. It is his call as to whether or not he plays today. And his call, according to the information that we can see and we have been told and Mike Adamley relayed to you, he will take the first snap. Kirk Maggio will kick off. UCLA leading 3-0 off their first possession. And the kick is high and hangs well, and it goes to Calvin Holmes at the 4. Gets a hole in the middle to the 25 and across it to about the 26. Every eye in the stadium, all 100,000 pairs, will swing out onto the field to see number 16 come out. And there he is. One could never imagine that a disease normally associated with childhood could become such a celebrated cause of concern, but it has this week. Call it officially the 27-yard for the snap, and Peete on first down puts it up. Jackson puts up 8 yards on the catch in front of Darrell Henley. Here's your starting lineup now for the Trojans. Pete, Holt, Lockwood, Jackson, Affolter are wideouts. The offensive front, and a lot of us believe this is the edge in the game if one team has one. Guerrero, Parkinson, Leggett, Tucker, Marshall, and Galbraith starts at tight end. Gary Wellman comes in, a speedster, on 2nd down and 2, the ball at the 35. Affolter goes in motion. The handoff goes to the tailback, Scott Lockwood, a sophomore from Boulder, and he's close to his first down. Well, Bob, they come out on the first snap and throw the ball. Is that a message to UCLA that our man is healthy?
Well, I think it makes everybody on that offensive line for Southern Cal feel good, and it also tells UCLA something that they already knew, that Rodney Peete was here to play, and they found that out very quickly.
The carry by Lockwood, good for the first down. Ball resting at the 37. Pete, quick drop over the head of John Jackson, and that ball might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Defensively for UCLA, the Bruins will line up this way. Lodick, Waller, Wilcox, the 3 down linemen. The backers are Lake, Johnson, Davis, and Smith. Johnson may have a very big day inside because I think the Trojans want to run some in there. The secondary is Henley, Eric Turner, Marcus Turner, and Matt Darby. Darby is the baby of the bunch. What a tough baby. 2nd down and 10. Pete stumbles a bit. Has time. Pass away. Affolter. No. Too high. Got his hands on it. But the ball was thrown a little too high. The first big hit was by Marcus Turner. It was Marcus Turner who was defending a year ago at the Coliseum when Affolter caught the winning touchdown.
Secondary and the entire defense for UCLA is a good one. They're second in the Pac-10 behind Southern Cal. Both teams have outstanding defenses.
Galbraith comes out at tight end. Irvins goes in.
Take a look at what the two quarterbacks have done this year, both hitting over 60% of their passes.
Gets into it. It's more UCLA than USC. Pressure's on. Pete's pass intended for Affolter, and he missed him, and he had it. Affolter was open, but he didn't hit it. So,
there was a blitz coming up the middle. Affolter didn't expect the ball that quickly. There must have been a blitz adjustment read that Pete saw, and Affolter did not.
All right, Spurl is in the punt, and a very dangerous Bruin is back to receive it, Darrell Henley. Special teams has not been the Trojan forte this year. Spurl's pumped up, look at that. I mean, he nailed it all the way back to the 12, and Henley looking for daylight, can't find it. Keeps retreating and goes down at the 6, and it's Wayne Garner who hunted him down. So Spurl hits a 52-yarder, and Henley loses 6 on the return. The football belongs to UCLA. The ball is marked just short of the 7-yard line. It is first down. Bruins lead 3-0. Ryan Brown is the tailback. Estrich is the fullback. Barr's the wideout to the bottom of the picture. Aikman is just checked off. He pitches back to Bryant. Looks for daylight. Won't find it. And a penalty flag is dropped along the line of scrimmage.
Delmar Chesley and Dan Owens on the tackle.
Frank Cornish is up there talking to the huddled officials, apparently pleading his case. Holding, Bruin. Mike Adamle for a moment.
Well, Keith, if Rodney Peete is suffering from anything, it's only early game jitters. Other than that, he is just fine. The trainers and the team doctors are monitoring Rodney's health on every play, after every series. And so far, he's standing on the sidelines. He's not sitting down. He's watching the defense play. And he's feeling just good. It's just going to be a matter of stamina and how long he can do it.
Penalty refused by the Trojans. They want him back there, but they want to use up a down. It is second down and 10. Ball still near the 7. Aikman back in his end zone. Gets his pass out over the middle. Almost intercepted by Ernest Spears, the young man at corner who was shaken up earlier. Spears plays the boundary side of the field. The pass intended for Reggie Moore, and UCLA lucky to get that one back.
The Trojans were double covering the 2 wide receivers for the Bruins. Both of these teams like to throw to their wide receivers.
All right, David Keating is just checked in. I think David's had a hamstring problem, but he seems to be moving all right. He is a tough catcher in traffic. That may be why he's back in the game replacing Reggie Moore. Now he goes to the other side. That puts him over there with Farr. And Aikman will throw it. Won't either. He's sacked back at the 1. Michael Williams for Southern California, number 54. So that'll get Harold Barcade into the ball game, the Bruin kicking team. He has been one of the top punters in the Pac-10 this year.
They had 2 blocks two blocks this year and 1 last week, Keith.
Time for a moment. His average just over 42. Scott Lockwood is the return man for Southern California. Lockwood is standing back inside the 50. Anticipating the ball somewhere around the 45. If he handles the ball well, Southern California then is going to get pretty good field position. And UCLA has called a timeout. You can see now that Terry Donahue is concerned over the fact that he's had too much clock. That is USC timeout now. That is not a UCLA timeout.
Well, Larry Smith from USC has said that the punt, he believes, is the single most important play in football. His special teams has not been that good this year. UCLA has had a couple of punts blocked. They have them backed up in their own end zone. He can take his pick, whether he wants to come after it and block one or whether he wants to put a return on. Figures that he's going to get good field position if he does put on a return.
Trojans didn't have 10 men on the field. That's why they spent the timeout. So a lot of folks got early game jitters, don't they?
It's a very emotional game, and that's the way it happens early on.
All right, field position should come for the Trojans here as Barcade hits a beauty, though. Boy, that's a dandy. Whoa, my goodness, all the way back to the 43. Lockwood crosses midfield, finds a hole. And he stopped down around the 36-yard line. Barcade, the punter, came up and turned Lockwood upside down. 57-yard punt, and he did it off 1 step. Boy, that Ohio State-Michigan game was a pistol, wasn't it? Michigan State won 6 in a row to finish the season. And Indiana playing a team from the Midwest.
Okay.
They'll be back, won't they, Robert?
That's right.
From the 36-yard line now, Pete is in there at quarterback. Lockwood, the tailback. Boy, he took a pretty good lick when he got to the line of scrimmage for number 98, Eric Smith, an outside linebacker who slanted and closed the hole. Wellman comes in, bringing a play. Jackson comes out for Southern California. Pick up of 2 yards, second down, 8.
33.
Each pass down the middle is tipped, almost intercepted. Number 54, Craig Davis, an inside backer, dropping off to cover the short zone, tipped the ball.
One of the big differences for this Bruin defense this year is they have not gotten the turnovers like last year. Davis gets his hands up, Turner, 29, and Henley try to get the interception. Last year, they had 17 turnovers.
Well, there were a lot of blue shirts in the area where Eric Affolter was at the time.
There were.
Ball is at the UCLA 34, third down, 8. Affolter pulled it in. Again, he had double coverage, and he made the catch for the first down at the 17-yard line of UCLA. This would be number 56, his 56th catch of the year, and that ties a Southern California season record held by Jeff Simmons.
Well, he releases inside of Darby 43. Pete never sees Darby come back, and he was fortunate that that ball was not picked off.
But it is a first down at the UCLA 17. Bruins lead 3-0 with 6:40 to play. And they try Holt, the fullback. He's just over what appears to be the 14. It'll be second down. And 7. Lockwood to the 9, close to the 8. Got a little crack on the right side, running behind Tucker and Leggett. And it'll be third down and short.
That time it appeared to me the backs were in I formation, that Rodney Peete turned the wrong way. Watch him now. Oh, he thought they were going to our left. They ended up going to the right. That's one of the things that problem that you have when you don't practice all week. You may not be as sharp mentally, but it just takes a while to get back into the flow.
Change in tailback for Southern California. Aaron Emanuel is in, 225-pound junior from Palmdale. The big back on third down and 2. He's got the first down. He's inside the 5-yard line. It's first and goal, Southern California. We saw him last week at Arizona State, Bob, and he, in that fourth quarter, ran very hard. And if he is really healthy.
No question, he is an outstanding back. In fact, he was the top running back in the nation a few years ago. They got a lot of good running backs here at Southern Cal. So what to do?
First and goal just inside the 5. Emanuel. Touchdown. Trojan.
Emanuel in the I formation is 6'2" and 225. The offensive line averages 284 pounds. He wasn't touched until he crossed the goal line.
Quinn Rodriguez had a shaky week last week. He's in for the extra point try. Got this one. You got 4:46 to go in the first quarter. And Southern California takes the lead 7-3.
Take a look at the offensive line. 62 is Marshall, doing a nice job. 17 is Green. No question about that. One of the advantages of Southern Cal, that big offensive line against the lighter but quicker UCLA defense.
Meantime, on the SC campus, just in the shadow of the Coliseum, downtown area of Los Angeles, it's probably very quiet right now.
Day. This fourth quarter 80-yard touchdown run ties the game with Iowa State. So far, 3 touchdowns, 205 yards. He's 135 away from Marcus Allen's single-season rushing record. And along the way, he breaks the prestigious 51-year-old record of Supreme Court Justice Whizzer White. His record of all-purpose yards per game, 246, the mark, is broken by Barry Sanders. Keith?
All right, Al, thanks very much. That touchdown by USC, the first scored against the Bruin defense in the first quarter this entire season. The kickoff is short. Brown picks it up, hustles on down the sidelines, and gets up around the 30-yard line, and there's a penalty flag thrown right on top of the stack at about the 27. Washington Redskins, San Francisco 49ers will be the combatants on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football next Monday at 9 Eastern Time. Jim Springer getting the proper placement on it, and the infraction appears to go against UCLA, and TD is hot.
Holding during the return, penalty enforced from the spot of the foul, 1st and 10.
This has been a problem for Terry Donahue all season long. Penalties. They are the 8th most penalized team in the Pac-10 this year.
Sean Wills is in at tailback. Brown picked up 3 yards and was shut down 3 successive carries. Ball in a couple of plays, and now it's the freshman from Hanford, Sean Wills, looking for a little running. They go to the fullback, Estwick, and no, it is Kevin Smith in there at fullback, and he gets hammered after a yard pickup. Here's Mike Adams.
Keith, you know, there was some concern that perhaps Rodney Peete was being brought back too quickly after a bout with the measles. I'm with Dr. Alan Earlbaum, one of the USC's team physicians, a man who attended Rodney Peete. Is there any extra risk that Rodney's running today?
No, Rodney had what appears to be a mild case of the measles. He has responded well. He is feeling excellent today. The medical staff went over him thoroughly today, and we feel it is safe for him to play football today.
Stamina going to be a problem?
That could be a question. He was in the hospital a couple days this week. Did have some intravenous fluids during that period of time. However, he's been feeling well for the last few days, and we're just going to have to wait and see.
Doctor, thank you. Keith?
All right, Mike. On 2nd down and 8, Wills, the freshman, popped in there with some authority and moved the football up to around the 23. They've got to go past the 26 to get their first down. Wills now leads after the 1 carry. And they go to a single back with 3 wideouts. On 3rd and a long 3, Aikman drops to throw it, gets it off quickly, pass is caught by Corwin Anthony, the tight end, and Anthony is up across the 40 and a first down, and almost got away.
Was 3rd and short. Anthony is here. He's just going to go across the field very shallow. Watch the wide receivers clearing everybody out, but there's one man that Aikman wants to get the ball to. 3rd and short. Right there, it's Anthony, and he picks up a first down.
Look how close he comes here to getting really loose, because both Trojan defenders on that side, he was past them, but he just ran out of real estate. Aikman on first down will throw. Long throw across the field, and it is caught by Mike Farr. And the pickup is only going to be like 4 yards after throwing the ball close to 30 yards.
Gain of 4 to the 45-yard line.
Mike Farr had knee surgery in the spring. A lot of people were questioning whether or not he'd be back. Take a look at the protection from the reverse angle. Nice catch by Farr. He came in with 53 receptions. That's a UCLA record for a season.
Sean Wills is back in at tailback. Aikman's pass is away. Again, tied in. Again, he hauls it in. Anthony. If you've got good athletes at the tight end position, they're worth their weight in gold, because there's almost always some room right in that area just behind the backer.
And it's tough to find good tight ends. Terry Donahue has 2 outstanding tight ends in Charles Arbuckle and Corwin Anthony.
First down, Bruins. Trojan 46. SC lead 7-3. 2:15 to go. First quarter. McCracken in motion for UCLA. Aikman throwing. Pressure. Gets it off. saved the sack. Junior Seau. It's Michael Williams, 54. Seau's 55, and he's the guy that got him. Oregon State, Oregon, in their traditional. Washington State plays a little later. Mississippi State, Tulane, that's an old-timer. A lot of these old-timers going on around the country today. That may have taken Wake Forest out of any bowl possibilities, that 34 tie with Appalachian State. Second down and 10. Handoff goes to the freshman Wills, and he is caught from behind by Garner. Otherwise, he might well have scored, because he broke it to the outside. Troy Aikman told me earlier this week what he sort of had in mind looking for against the Southern California defense early on in the ball game.
Well, we're wanting to, like I said, establish some type of running game early and get our passing game going. I think we're going to have to challenge them in many different ways. We're going to have to back them off with the pass and let them know that we're willing to throw deep. That's probably one of the major criticisms of this football team all season long. But we feel that we're going to come out. We don't have anything to lose in this game. It's the last game of the season. We got to come out and just let everything loose and go after it.
The freshman Wills, since coming into the ball game, has added some spark to the UCLA running game, and they pick up another first down inside the Trojan 35.
And he's a true freshman. This is his first year. I think it was interesting what Aikman said at the end of that. We feel like we have nothing to lose and everything to gain. They were #1 for 2 weeks this season, got beat by Washington State, currently ranked #6, and they feel like nothing to lose.
From the Trojan 34, first down Bruin. Wills takes the reverse, keeps it, now gets in trouble. He's going to lose back outside the 35. He didn't carry out the fake very well. He didn't make much of a fake at all, and it didn't fool very many Trojans, and Scott Ross, 35, was right there.
I always question that play. When you bring one of your potential blockers back around behind everybody, you're trying to fool the deep secondary when you could be using that wide receiver to go down and block for the sweep. I always question that.
Second down, 11, single back, 3 wide outs. Eskridge is the lone remaining back, and Aikman steps quickly to throw, delivers quickly to Farr, and Farr will get it down to about the 33, and it'll be third down and 9.
One of the things that Steve Axman, the offensive coordinator, said, we want to get Aikman off to a fast start. 9 of 12 already, certainly off to a good start.
Third and 9, Kevin Smith, Eric Ball, the backfield now for the Bruins. Aikman hums one. In and out of the arms of David Keating. No fault of Aikman, he put it right there.
Trying to get after Aikman with some blitzing to get him out of the pocket. 54 is a linebacker, Williams, but watch the safety Carrier as he goes on a safety blitz to try to put some pressure and disrupt the timing. A wide open hole for Carrier. Aikman saw him and threw it a little bit before he wanted to.
Velasco is in. Alfredo hit a 46-yarder. Now he's going to go for a 50-yarder. You got 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Velasco's kick is not going to get there. That's his first miss at the Rose Bowl this season. And the clock shows 8 ticks left in the first period, with the Trojans leading 7-3 and stopping that Bruin possession. Next week, take on #1 Notre Dame, and the Irish won today against Penn State.
And you would think that if you're playing the #1 team in the nation, you'd at least be knowing who you play this week. None of the coaches for Southern Cal, none of the players are even looking past this ball game, obviously.
Better not. Pete's pass to the sidelines, good to Jackson. He rolled it out. He had good rhythm, He had good rotation, and he put it right into John's hands. Carnell Lake, the tackle. That's the first down.
Defensively, the strategy for UCLA is to contain Rodney Peete, not let him get outside the pocket on the corner. He likes to get outside. He makes big plays when he's out there. What they would like to do is contain him in the pocket and force him to throw there. Doesn't mean he's not good from the pocket. He's just much more dangerous outside.
First down, 41-yard line for the Trojans. Last play of the quarter. Leroy Holt, the fullback, picks up a couple, and the first period is over. And after one at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena with 100,000 plus, it's 7-3, USC leading. That picture of the Arroyo coming from the Goodyear Blimp, Columbia. Captain Tom Mattis from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, handling it. Right after the game, they're going to take off for San Francisco. Now, takeoff is a relative term because by blimp, it's 16 hours. By car, a comfortable time. By jet, 50 minutes. Rodney Peete rolls out on second down, runs away from some of the heat, and delivers its pass complete. Down at the 36-yard line for a first down, caught by Affolter. Now let's spend a moment with Al Shotway.
Okay, Keith, just under 6 minutes remaining in the Northwestern Illinois game. In the game for Northwestern, Byron Sanders, Barry's brother, has gone over 1,000 yards in what we believe is an unprecedented season for two brothers. Meanwhile, Illinois is only minutes away from an All-American Bowl berth against Florida. That they'll get if they win. Back to you.
And we've got a first down here. Southern California owning the ball. UCLA 36. Trojans leading 7-3, just starting the second quarter of play. Peete to Lockwood. And Scott Lockwood, as he has grown, he's only a sophomore, but he's grown a lot since he's been playing football in Southern California. He's learned a great deal about picking his way.
And he's a good kid. Look at the blocking up front. 61 is Guerrero, 320 pounds. That's a standoff, and he finally wins. Going against Eric Smith, who is not a small man, 6'3" and 235, but giving away, well, a lot of pounds to that man right there.
Second down and 5. Lockwood again.
Lockwood.
29. It'll be third and about 3 as Doug Klein makes the stop for the Bruins.
First quarter stats, UCLA dominating in plays 24-14, and time of possession, although Southern Cal leads on the scoreboard 7-3.
Paul Green was in on that last play and tied in, so he's another injured player that's back. The Bruins had a lot of injuries in the last half of this season. Rodney Peete's pass is away. Caught by Eric Affolter, gets away. Touchdown. Oh, is he a gamer?
Go all the way to the end zone to congratulate those guys. A little bit too far. I'd just wait for him to come back to the bench. I'd conserve my energy if I were him.
Now Rodriguez on the extra point try. Spurl holds. Fryer snaps. The kick is good.
It's not a long pass. It's just a quick out to Affolter. 29 is Turner. He almost makes the play. Look at him. He reads it well. But Pete's strong arm gets the ball there. Henley misses the tackle. And Affolter makes a big play.
Well, the Bruins spent an entire year growling about him from last year when he beat him.
Good protection for Rodney Peete. The ball's got to be on the money. It gets there quickly. Turner, just a sophomore, tries to go for the knockdown and doesn't make it.
The injured player is the snapper, Scott Fryer. Timeout on the field for the moment for him. But that catch by Affolter ties the all-time record at USC at 113. More than 90,000 watched in the Los Angeles Coliseum 1967 as the #1 UCLA Bruins met #2 USC. O.J. Simpson scored the winning touchdown on this 64-yard run. The successful extra point produced a 21-20 USC win in a game they still talk about.
Go back and take a look. Fryer, the center right here, is going to get fallen on. The man right here is going to fall on that knee. Centers do this every time after they snap the ball. They don't move. Sometimes misfortune is there, and their defensive line, who tries to make an attempt to block, falls on his left knee, but he did walk off the field under his own power.
Trojans asking their faithful to make a little noise for them. Pete's last 4 passes, 16 yards to Affolter, 12 yards to Jackson, 15 yards to Affolter, and 29 yards touchdown to Affolter. Brown and Wills are back, the tailbacks, and here's the kick. Rodriguez places it into the hands of Wills, and Wills with a good return from the 10 out to about the 35-yard line. Now, Al Rodwin.
Keith, 917 Heisman Trophy voters are going to have a difficult choice. Just moments ago, under 6 minutes remaining, Barry Sanders an 11-yard touchdown run to give Oklahoma State a 42-28 lead over Iowa State. Unofficially now, he's 70 yards short of Marcus Allen's record with 4 touchdowns on the day.
Well, nobody's seen him. That's the problem. But he's obviously a heck of a running back. First down. Just short of the 35. Aikman drops back to throw. Pass is tipped, but it had so much zip on it that it was good anyway to Charles Arbuckle. And Arbuckle crosses midfield and a first down for the Bruins.
Arbuckle will be a big target today. Let's go back and look at this graphic. UCLA's offense on the left, who is on the field now. Pretty good in the Pac-10, but look at USC's defense. First in total defense, rushing and scoring defense. 4th against the pass, and that's what Troy Aikman wants to take advantage of.
Troy is now 10 out of 14, 89 yards. And on first down, hands it away to the tailback, Wills, and he'll have a couple of yards. He averages, Aikman does, just over 27 attempts per game. But on the pace of today, he's going to throw over 50.
Yeah, well, they know that they have to throw, and in fact, they said we want to throw on first down, on running downs, and run in passing situations, not always have to throw into that nickel defense.
Second down and 8 coming up. Wow, look what Utah is doing to BYU. Eric Ball is in at tailback now for UCLA. And Aikman back, pass away to the sidelines. Mike Parr has it. He eludes a tackler. He got away from Chris Hale. And he's going to have another Bruin first down at the Southern California 35.
I'm a little surprised at the missed tackles here so early in the ball game in the first quarter and a half. We've seen a lot of missed tackles. Usually, in an emotional game like this, the offense is the ones that sputter. Today, the defenses are sputtering. We saw it on the Affolter touchdown where Henley came up and missed the tackle. Very unusual.
Wills is back in at tailback. Aikman drop, deep drop, goes big down the middle. No. Pass intended for Brendan McCracken.
Well, Terry Donahue told us that we want to throw the ball downfield some today. We have not done enough of that this year. Aikman has a strong arm. They just have not gotten the ball downfield because most teams have taken away the deep pass.
Second and 10. Ball on the USC 35. Aikman lets it go. Pass is caught by Wills out of the backfield. And he looks like he's got another first down.
The 24-yard line brought down by Mark Carrier. Brian Julio.
Pretty good pair of hands on that freshman. He had to go up.
I've been impressed with him all year. We saw him early in the year against Nebraska. And in fact, for this ball game, UCLA's offense went back and looked at that game again just to find out, because they really played very well and really blew Nebraska out. They wanted to get back to doing some of the things both on the run and on the pass that they did against Nebraska.
From the 24, first down, Aikman pumps it, in trouble, gets it off, completes it. Wills has got it, down inside the 15 to the 14, and may have a first down. Michael Williams nailed Aikman as he was throwing the ball, but still Troy completed it.
You got to give credit to Aikman on this one. This was supposed to be a curl and go. Watch the receiver curl and then go. Aikman will take a step and pump. He ends up hitting the back out over on the left side. Look at the top of your screen. And now watch Aikman. A little pump. Now he wants him. The coverage is there. There's nowhere to go. He comes off of it and hits Wills. Close for a first down.
To 3, Southern California leading, 11:28 to go in the first half.
Last play, they tried to get Chris Hale, the corner on the wide side, to bite on that hook. They're inside the 30-yard line, thinking that people wouldn't think we'd be going deep, and that time Hale played it very well.
Got double tight end alignment now. On first down from the 14, Aikman drops it out. Pass is dropped. Arbuckle coming across, breaking out with it, and the ball, Troy tried to touch it just over the backer and didn't have much on it, and he couldn't pull it in. That's almost, he just kind of putted it out there instead of zipping it.
Well, he had to throw it over the linebacker. I think it was a poor route by Arbuckle. I think he needs to get to the sideline a little bit quicker instead of bending it so much down the field.
Esper at fullback now. The single back. 3 wide outs on 2nd and 10. Aikman with pretty good protection. Gets his pass away. The pass is caught. Inside the 10. Mike Farr is knocked back by Chris Hale. But they will mark him inside the 10-yard line. They've got to go to the 4 to get their first down.
Farr's been consistent. 8 games in a row where he has caught at least 4 passes.
Got 6 today for 38 yards. Yeah. Already. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Just inside the 10, third down and about 6. No way that time. Michael Williams keeps pounding on Troy Aikman. Paul Richardson was the intended receiver, and they had no chance to get the ball, and Troy had to get rid of the ball because Williams was climbing his wagon.
Well, last week, as you see, nobody on Williams, a mental breakdown by the offensive line or one of the running backs. Last week, Aikman was sacked 7 times. That's been a problem for the offensive line.
Velasco is in. He's hit a 46-yarder, missed from 50. This is from 27. And it's good. And so the Bruins get their second field goal of the ball game at 10:16 to play in the first half. Southern California leading 14-6. Old Tournament House here in Pasadena, but that's the home of the Tournament of Roses Association, who handle the parade, the festival, and the game, which will be played January 2nd. Michigan Wolverines against the winner of this game. Right now, Southern California leads 14-6, and the Bruins kicking off to them. Calvin Holmes goes all the way back in the end zone, drops the ball. Oh, my gosh, what a mistake. Comey, he got disoriented. The ball was floating on him. He got back in the end zone. He dropped the ball, and I guess just reaction was to pick it up and try to run with it, when in fact he should have put it down, and he's shaking his head coming off the field.
Well, Smith's comment earlier in the year that this is the worst in all my years of coaching the special teams have ever been. He usually prides himself in special teams. Somebody should be there right now. He's a redshirt freshman. The kid's playing in the biggest game of his life. One of those juniors or seniors should be over there grabbing him and said, "Kid, stay in the end zone."
Aaron Emanuel is in at tailback now, holds in front of him. And the Trojans start inside their 5. Emanuel will get 2 to 5. And that's all. Nothing. Brian Kelly. Penalty flag is down as tempers flare a bit. You got 3 flags.
They came out late, so you might think it would be a personal foul of some sort.
Pete indicated that it was going to be against UCLA, but you've got a full-blown conference going on right now. Now we'll get the call. Guerrero coming to the sidelines for a moment to talk.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense. Dead ball, personal foul, offense. Penalties offset, second down.
A lot of noise for little.
No hands on the play. Second and 10 on the 5-yard line.
Second down and 10. Emanuel. Penalty flag again as he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. The Bruins right now really flying to the ball defensively. Well, that's a crackback against Southern California. So while they decide that one, the Honda Scholar Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Honda. The award goes to Darrell Ingram, a senior tight end, University of California. Top tight end of the Pac-10 with 35 receptions for this season. Honda will present a check for $2,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the University of California. His major, 3-point grade point average in political economies of industrial societies. Phew, that's heavy. Third down at about 9. Emanuel going to throw it out of the end zone. Pass is away and incomplete. So a bit of a trick play, and Emanuel threw a knuckleball up the field. And
that tells me that Larry Smith has his offense wide open. To put the ball in the hands of a running back in your own end zone and let him throw it. How many times have you seen him throw it up for grabs? But he didn't. He threw it out of bounds, which was a smart thing to do because there was no one open.
Bruins have got to get good field position out of this exchange now if Henley handles it. Fryer is back in. Snaps it well for Spurl. And the kick is away, and it's not a particularly good one, but he gets a good bounce out of it. And it's going to roll up across the 45 to the 46-yard line where the Trojans cover it. 41-yard punt with a roll, 9:13 to go in the first half of play. Looks like one of my cousins. That's one of the floats being built, located across the street. One of those you will see in our coverage of the Rose Parade, New Year's Day. Of course, all the floats are built in this area because you can't be trucking those things around too far. They're very fragile once you put the flowers on them. 9:13 to go in the first half now. The ball is just short of the Trojan 45, and the Bruins had a good defensive series to get this field position. Brown and Estrick line up behind Aikman. And it's Brown. And he's across the 40 to the 39.
Take a look look at the UCLA blocking. 71 is Meyer, 68 Cornish. Minifield is on that side also. Good running by Brown. Brown is only 5'9". One of the problems with Eric Ball being out, the size differential.
2nd and 3, back to Brown. Brown is outside. Almost got around the corner. Number 99 got a piece of him, Tim Ryan, and then Michael Williams put him away. And it'll be 3rd and 2.
This is the situation, the 3rd and short yardage, when UCLA really misses that big back. Eric Ball, 6'1", 215. Ryan Brown is only 5'9". You need a big back for short yardage and goal line situations.
See if we see Esther here. Nope. Brown again. He breaks it. And he's on his way. Caught from behind by number 30, Tracy Butt.
Take a look at Ross, number 35, Scott Ross. Short yardage, he's filling the hole, he's attacking. Brown goes right past him. He's got this gap, he's the leading tackler on the Southern Cal team. It's surprising, again I say it, how many missed tackles defensively we've seen already in the first half.
1st and goal, Trojan 9. Bruins on the move, trailing 14-6. Give it to Brown again. Hit at the line of scrimmage. And it was Gibson, the big nose guard. Don Gibson, Dan Owens, Tim Ryan, those 3 down linemen. That time they held their ground. McCracken a wide out. Kevin Smith in there. They hand it to the big back. They're trying to find a big back in Kevin Smith, and he's big enough, 240-pound redshirt freshman. And he picks up a couple of yards. Al Trotwig at halftime with a Prudential report. Right now, Southern California got its back against the wall as the UCLA Bruins, coming off of a very good defensive series, are trying to stick it in the end zone. It is 3rd down and goal. Estrick is back in. Brown is back in. Aikman rolls out, throws it to the corner. No. Pass intended for Reggie Moore, and he couldn't come up with it. And so that brings the kicking team in. Velasco coming in for his 3rd field goal try. He's hit 2.
To the right of your screen.
4th, actually.
Aikman throws it where Moore has a chance to make the play away from the defense. It would have been a nice catch, but it wasn't to be.
This will be a 25-yard try. He's been good from 27 and 46 and short from 50. The chip shot for him is good. 6:07 first half, 14-9 the score. SC leads. Perhaps worth noting here that 4 of 5 UCLA possessions have ended deep in USC territory, but they have produced from those possessions only 9 points. Kirk Maggio will kick it off. Got a pretty good leg. He knocks it way back there. Ricky Urban will return it. Look at this. One man. Well, he couldn't wait for Holmes to catch up and help him a little bit. He just put his head down and kept going, and Maggio finally brought him down. So a big return of 61 yards all the way to the UCLA 39.
Big play in a big game all season long. Southern Cal has been last in kickoff return. Urban says, enough of that. I don't read those things. Great kickoff return.
Holmes just couldn't quite catch up to make the block for him. Let him score. All right, first down. Southern Cal at the UCLA 39. Back and forth they go. And this is Emmanuel. Tough cookie. Picks up about 3 when there was nothing really available to him.
Southern California's possessions in the first half. 2 times they've gotten the ball in UCLA territory.
Second down and 7. Fullback Holt. Hole up the middle. He's close to a first down. Asked Larry Smith earlier this week, with Pete apparently fragile, is this the game where you just send your big people out and beat on them? He said this.
I don't think we can just line up and go at them between the 2 tackles. I think that what we want to be able to do is to have balance as usual, and I think that the running game is definitely going to be a key part of it. I think that whichever football team can control or muster up the best running game has an excellent chance.
Right now, their running game looks pretty good. They come up just short of the first down. Short by about 6 inches.
It's always the way it is in big games, though, Keith. You know, defense, it comes down to defense and who can run and who can stop the run. All the ballyhoo about the 2 quarterbacks, it always gets down to defense and running the football.
Third and less than a foot. Pete keeps it. And we'll have the first down. He just slid off the right side, got on the hip of Leggett and behind Tucker and picked it up. Marked the ball near the 38. Illinois is off to a postseason game, huh?
You know, that was a simple quarterback sneak by Rodney Peete, but I think it tells you a lot about what the Southern Cal coaches feel about the condition of Rodney Peete. They have no problem with him sneaking the ball and exposing himself to a defensive hit.
First down. And a quick pass to John Jackson. Henley trying to get a hold of him. He gets away from Darrell and picks up a first down as he gets to the 15-yard line. Well, the Ohio State-Michigan game went back and forth, the second half in particular. And here we are with this one going up and down the field.
Well, it's 2 teams that are just too proud and are too talented not to come back and fight at each other.
14-9, Southern California leading. Emmanuel gets into traffic and he is spun down after a pickup of a yard.
Matt Darby on the tackle.
Matt Darby, Marcus Turner making the defensive play for the Bruins.
Whenever these 2 teams play, it's like a neighborhood rivalry. There's so much emotion. A lot of these players on both teams went to high school together, know each other from the LA area. And it's like they've been hearing about and reading about the other school all year long. It's finally a chance to go out and play against some of your friends.
Second down and still about 10, and Pete throws it. Pass is away, and a pass intended for Scott Galbraith to tie it in. Eric Turner covering, and it's incomplete. Oh, that'll bring up third down. And Pete now, has hit 5 last 6 passes for 86 yards. A touchdown and picked up 5 first down.
And he was a hot quarterback coming into this week. In his last 6 games, he had thrown 15 touchdown passes and completed over 66% of them.
3:36 to go, first down. UCLA making late defensive adjustments here, and they get caught. And Chance Johnson, the inside backer, realizes they got a problem and calls a timeout.
Football is brought to you by Honda, who invite you to experience the new Civic four-door sedans at your local Honda dealer. And by Murata Fax Machines, built for the most important business in the world, yours.
That group of Trojans massively outnumbered here at the Rose Bowl because this is a home game for UCLA, and their folks are dominant. Nebraska leading Oklahoma at halftime, 7-0. And it's 14-9. Southern California with a couple of touchdowns. UCLA has moved the ball very well. They're on top on time, yardage, but they've had to settle for 3 field goals. Ball is touching the 15-yard line, but it's inside the 15, so they'll probably call it a 14-yard play. Pete goes the other way. Paul Green to the corner and out of bounds, just short of the goal line.
So they go unbalanced to the right. Green is to the left. He's lined up in a tackle position. Nobody is there to take him. Pete rolls to his right, throws back to Green to the left side. A nice little trick play, and he almost gets in for the score.
He's had a banged-up leg, but you can see his size. And it's 1st and goal to go. Southern California. Emmanuel is in at tailback. Pete with the football. Touchdown, Trojan. Say his step has a little more bounce now than when he first came out here today.
Yeah, I think his adrenaline is flowing. It's flowing pretty well.
Rodriguez for the point. Good. At 3:25 to go in the first half, 21-9, Southern California.
Tackle right here. We're lined up where the tackle normally is Paul Green. Now Pete's going to roll this way to pull everybody over, and the Green is just going to sneak down the backside. He blocks for a second, delays. The wide receiver at the top of your screen comes in to take everybody with him, and Green just kind of trails out. It was a well-designed, nicely called play. Right time for it.
Mike Adamley, are you in the neighborhood? Give me some reaction, if you are, on the circumstance of Rodney Pete, how he looks at close range.
Well, he absolutely looks fantastic, Keith. I'm right behind the USC bench right now. I told you at the earlier portion of this game that he had been smiling much this week, but he's got such a great infectious grin, and it's glowing right now. Matter of fact, right, one of the trainers is working on Roddy's arm, rubbing it down a little bit. I think it has to do with some of the dry skin that he had incurred from his bout with the measles, but he looks terrific, and he's smiling on the bench right now, Keith. Why not? 21-9.
That's right. Rodriguez kicks it off. And it's short, bounce. Brown has to field it at the 9. Gets a little bit of daylight on the sidelines, and Bryan has a nice return up around the 30. Well, tomorrow on ABC Sports, the Merrill Lynch Shootout. 10 top golfers in a 9-hole tournament. Somebody gets eliminated each hole, kind of like the old horse race, if you remember those. Defending champion is Fuzzy Zeller, Ray Floyd, Payne Stewart, David Frost, and the rest of them tee off at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, and Pacific tomorrow on ABC Sports.
A quick count on the touchdown by Rodney Pete.
Now we've got the officials talking here again. Jim Springer, the referee, and the man in the white hat. While they're visiting out there and getting some airtime. Let me tell you who they are. Dave McCullough is the umpire. Charles Stewart, the head linesman. Ben Gallagher, the line judge. Putting some time back on the clock. Ben Pope, the field judge. Tom Sosmanski, the side judge. And Dick Freitas, the back judge. So they'll roll it back to 3:19, and the Bruins come up to the attack from the 30 now. Brown the tailback, Estrid the fullback. Aikman on first down will throw. Pumped it, now comes back to the middle, and Reggie Moore makes the catch up at the 45-yard line.
First half possessions for UCLA. 5 possessions they've attempted 4 field goals and made 3. 1 possession inside the 50-yard line on the USC 45.
That's good for a first down. Aikman again back. Good protection, and he really drilled that ball. Wow. Inside the 40, caught by Lawrence Berkeley at the 39-yard line. So they move the chains as the Bruins continue to roll up the yardage on a very pleasant day in Southern California. Barry Donahue with that knitted brow. Anybody's brow would be knitted on this stage. First down, his team trailing 21-9. And Aikman hands it off to Brown, and he is just walloped by Gibson.
John Gibson, just a sophomore. This is a young defensive team for Southern California. 10 of these 11 starters on this ball club will be back next year, and they're ranked number 1 against the run already this year as young men. Number 1 in the nation against the run.
Second down at about 13. Aikman drops, hums it. Moore's got it. Moore goes down at the 30. And depending on the mark, as to how close he is to the first down, and he got a good mark. Well, the last 2 passes that Aikman has thrown have just fairly sizzled.
Well, they've also gone to 4 wide receivers some. They spread the field and spread the defense out. And Aikman, being as smart as he is and having the strong arm, can read it and get the ball to whichever receiver is open.
Double wide now, Moore and Farr, top of the picture. Third down and a yard. Aikman rolls out on third and short, throws again, pass is caught inside the 20, and will be marked close to the 18-yard line, and it's Mike Farr, the junior from Birmingham, Michigan, son of Mel, making the catch. Everybody in the world, you know, I guess thinks third and yard or whatever, unless you're going to poke it in the middle.
Not a bad half for Mike Farr. 7 catches already. UCLA needs to get one in the end zone.
They've got 1 timeout to work with. From the 19, underneath to Brown, out of the backfield, gets 8 yards. Delmar Chesley, a linebacker over there on the running back, coming out of the backfield. And now the Bruins spend the timeout. 36 seconds to play. They have no more timeout. That's Rick Neuheisel in the yellow sweater talking to Troy Aikman. Terry Donahue, in the meantime, was having at least an animated conversation with one of the officials.
Neuheisel was an outstanding quarterback for UCLA, played in the Rose Bowl, win over Illinois a few years back. Just to show you what the the crossover that you have in town here. Even though he is an assistant coach for UCLA, he's also a third-year law student attending Southern California.
Well, Southern Cal is late getting back on the field from their sideline huddle, and they are dinged timeout. They were late getting out there, and it's either take a penalty or call a timeout, and so they called it. You know, under the rules this year, if a team chooses to take successive timeouts, you have 3.5. So if you want to take all 3 in succession, you can. But Southern California didn't really want to take a timeout, I don't think, there. They just late getting out and realized they had to or absorb a penalty.
UCLA had taken the previous timeout, but that is true. If SC wanted to take 2 or 3 in a row, they could.
Well, I understand Joe Montana's ready to play again as the 49ers and have the Washington Redskins. Doug Williams getting back to action this week, we anticipate. And that is a very big ball game for both those teams because their fortunes have not been so terribly bright this year. But it's interesting, those two teams have exceptional people to back them up at quarterback, too.
Mark Rippon has done an outstanding job when he's had an opportunity to play for the Redskins.
It's the better part of 3 yards. It's about 2.5. Second down. The ball is just short of the SC 10. Bruins trying to get a touchdown before the half ends. 36 seconds remaining to play. 21-9, USC lead. This has got pass all over it. Aikman pops it up. There it is. Touchdown, Moore.
Watch to the left of your screen. Number 3, Ernest Spears. He's not going to see the football. He thinks it's deeper in the end zone. He just loses track of where the ball is. Aikman throws it up. Take a look from the other angle, the reverse angle. He just gives it a lot of height. The key is a lot of height. Let your man find it, and the other man loses it. Touchdown.
Velasco for the point. Good. And so the Bruins, who have moved the ball well throughout the half, finally get a touchdown and close the gap to 5.
You know, coming in, too, with both of these teams having such good defenses, you kind of wondered if it wouldn't be a low-scoring contest. 21-16 at halftime kind of answers that question.
I think there's just too much talent on the field.
I agree with you. It's been a well-played first half. Both quarterbacks came in, and as advertised, have played very well.
Winner goes to the Rose Bowl to play the Michigan Wolverines, who survived, I think is a fair word today, the challenge from Ohio State, 34-31 at Columbus. Aikman in this first half, 20 out of 28, 202 yards. The UCLA records, if you're thinking in those terms, are 51 attempts and 29 completions. So he's on a record pace, certainly. There's the Rose Bowl, and that'll be full again on January 2nd. This kickoff goes bouncing down the field, and it is taken by Calvin Holmes, looking for a crack, and comes across the 30 out to about the 33. Aikman enjoying the moment after that touchdown.
Well, the touchdown pass, you saw him look over his shoulder. I think he was looking for some flags. It's almost normal anymore.
Well, that's the first thing I look for.
I know, we all do.
26 seconds to go in the first half. Trojans ball. They lead 21-16. The ball is at the USC 33. And they'll go to the clubhouse. Pete roaming around. Didn't he put his knee down? They haven't whistled it.
He faked like he did. It was a trick play, and UCLA had none of it. They had 6 guys deep, and SC had a lot of guys down there running routes, but good play. Good play by both sides.
He's laughing about it. When they saw Paul Green take off down the field, and the Bruin defenders and realized that the whistle had not blown, they backed up in a hurry.
He acts like he goes down, but he doesn't.
That's one of those things, though, you've got to tell an official about.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're going to whistle you.
Well, the one that makes the call is right there in the white hat, the referee standing behind you. Of course, the key for the defense is there was no whistle.
That's right. All right, the half is over. As the clock winds off, USC and UCLA in their 58th meeting, and it's 21-16 the Trojans by 5. We go now to Al Trafford.
Okay, Breeze, we'll tell you who's winning the big game, who won the big game, and the Oaken Bucket. All that ahead on the Prudential Halftime Report.
The Prudential College Football Halftime Report is brought to you by the Prudential. Your Prudential representative goes above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, your rock in financial services. Now from Studio One in New York, Al Truvwig.
Good afternoon. Not all of the top teams in America are taking part in this rivalry Saturday. Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, and Florida State and Georgia are all idle today. But here's what's happening to the rest of America's best. First, Notre Dame was a winner today over Penn State, 21-3. A day to forget for Joe Paterno, for this will be the first losing season for Penn State in 50 years. Mark Green's 22-yard touchdown run made it Fighting Irish 14-0. So Notre Dame stays on top and looks ahead to USC next Saturday, a game you can see right here on ABC. Syracuse and West Virginia will kick off at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Even though Syracuse has won the last 2 meetings, West Virginia can look ahead to the Fiesta Bowl. It'll be that matchup. Just moments ago, Lou Holtz made it official. Notre Dame and West Virginia will meet in Tempe. Third-ranked Miami in a tough place to play at LSU. That'll be tonight. And, of course, LSU has already earned a share of the SEC title. Auburn will play Alabama next week, and when that's all decided, they'll take on either Florida State or USC in the Sugar Bowl, which can be seen here on ABC Sports as well. Sleet, rain, cold weather, terrible weather. At the half, Nebraska and Oklahoma playing for the Big 8 title and a right to go to the Orange Bowl. The winner of this game will go there to take on Miami of Florida. As I said, they're playing LSU tonight. Meanwhile, Michigan over Ohio State today. Some of you may have seen this on ABC. 34-31 the final. Another tough day for John Cooper. A nervous day for Bo Schembechler. With 2:02 remaining, Bill Matlock gives Ohio State the lead with a 16-yard touchdown run. It's 31-27. Ohio State coming back from a 20-0 halftime deficit. With 1:37 left, Demetrius Brown, 41 yards to John Colasar to make it 34-31. Colasar gave the Wolverines field position with a 59-yard kickoff return. The Wolverines hang on to win by 3. They go into the Rose Bowl with confidence. Michigan State over Wisconsin today, 36-0, and that means the Spartans are heading to the Gator Bowl as a result of John Langlow's 5 field goals, Blake Ezor's 3 touchdowns, and a victory over the nation's worst offense in Wisconsin. Their opponent there will be Georgia. Indiana claims the Old Oaken Bucket in the 91st meeting between Indiana and Purdue, 52-7. 3 touchdowns for Anthony Thompson as Indiana looks forward to taking on South Carolina in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. Illinois over Northwestern today by a score of 14-9. On the losing side, Byron Sanders has gone over 1,000 yards. Couple that with Barry Sanders going over 2,000 yards. And that means, as best as we can check, this is the best 1-2 brother punch in the history of NCAA football. You may want to note that for Northwestern, senior Bob Griswold catches a pass and fumbles on the one with 4 seconds left in his last game for Northwestern, so that will be his memory. Illinois goes on to the All-American Bowl, where they'll take on Florida. Texas A&M over TCU today, 18-0 without their coach, Jackie Sherrill. Sherrill took himself out of this game amid some controversy regarding a former running back, George Smith at A&M, who says Sherrill arranged payments to him so that he wouldn't talk to NCAA investigators. A&M officials told us today they're going to try and contact George Smith and find out if what he's saying is true. Clemson over South Carolina today by a score of 29-10 at home. That means Clemson's heading to the Florida Citrus Bowl, where they'll take on the loser of the Big 8 championship game, Nebraska or Oklahoma. Our condolences to Danny Ford's family. There's some bad news there. His mother had a heart attack, and he's on his way to visit her as we speak. Boston College over Army today, 38-24, the first ever college football game in Europe. The atmosphere provided by Ireland, as was the donkey for the mascot for the Cadets of Army. BC got on the board first, a Mike Sanders 54-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0. The Eagles went on to win this one 38-24. Sun Bowl officials tell us this loss by Army does not affect their scheduled meeting in that bowl with Alabama. 3 turnovers by the Pitt Panthers allow the Wolfpack of NC State to beat them 14-3. For the victory bell, Duke wins it 35-29 with Roger Boone's 6-yard touchdown run with 23 seconds left. Duke did it without their coach as well. Steve Spurrier suspended by the ACC as a result of remarks he made last week against ACC officiating. Virginia's first win over Maryland since 1971, 24-23, a close one. Utah and BYU, a high-scoring affair, you bet. 57-28, a salute to Scott Mitchell, who's well over 4,000 yards passing, a sophomore record. He has 3 touchdowns on the day. That gives him 29, passing Steve Walsh, who's idle until tonight. Walsh with 26. Colorado's headed to the Freedom Bowl to take on BYU, who was losing in that previous game. 56-14, they win today over Kansas State, so here's the Freedom Bowl matchup, Colorado and Brigham Young. Moving ahead, the 97th meeting, Missouri and Kansas, a big day for the Tigers, 52-17 over that terrible team, the Kansas Jayhawks. The 92nd renewal of the Civil War, Oregon over Oregon State at the half by a score of 10-7. The 91st big game, Stanford leading Cal by 1. Here in New York, the Stanford Club is satelliting it in and watching right now with Happiness leading by a point. The oldest rivalry in college football went to Lafayette today, 52-45, most points ever scored in the history of the series. Lafayette's Frank Bauer, 4th touchdown pass of the game. This one a 34-yard effort to Mike Grau. That made it 49-38. Lafayette goes on to win it in an old rivalry that just continues to move on. The 95th meeting between Penn and Cornell. Cornell defeats Penn. That's their first defeat of the season, 19-6. That means these two teams will share the Ivy League title. The game's 105th edition goes to Yale in Cambridge, Massachusetts, 26-17. When we return, a chat with Barry Sanders, who may have had a Heisman Trophy kind of day. Welcome back to the Prudential Halftime Report. The final score from Ames, Iowa today reads Oklahoma State.
Southern California leads UCLA 21-16 at halftime. The Rose Bowl game will be played January 2nd, and historically it has been the kind of a stage that has produced some remarkable individual performances in college football. 1986, UCLA, Iowa was that kind of a game. It was a UCLA freshman who stole the show at 86. Eric Ball carried the football 22 times for 227 yards, second highest yardage total in Rose Bowl history. Ball scored 4 touchdowns, tied 7 game records, and became only the second freshman ever to be named the game's most valuable player. 4 Iowa turnovers plus Eric Ball, UCLA romped to a 45-28 victory. Eric Ball, incidentally, has been in today's game as a senior and limited because he has a very sore sprained ankle. Bob Greasy, no penalties, no turnovers, and no sacks for Southern California, and yet they lead by just 5 points.
Because they've had the opportunities, and they've taken advantage of those opportunities. UCLA, on the other hand, has kicked 3 field goals and missed 1, and they have not scored touchdowns, and that's why that UCLA is behind in this ballgame. Southern Cal leads it, but UCLA leads in the statistical battle.
Now, last week, to give you an idea of how young people respond to certain circumstances, Southern California was flagged 17 times for 128 yards and penalties. UCLA hadn't played very well for 2 weeks, but out here today, I mean, it is sell-out time for both.
Forget about what you've done all year. This game, no matter if you're 1-9, 9-1, or whatever, that doesn't make any difference. I'm interested to see how Rodney Peete comes out the second half. I think it's going to be interesting about his stamina, whether he can continue to play, how long he can go. The other thing we talked about in the opening is Troy Aikman. He's got to have a good game for UCLA to win. He certainly has had that, throwing for over 200 yards in the first half.
Yeah, he is definitely on a record pace right now. So it's a 5-point margin. The Trojans have that margin, and we're ready to go with the second half.
College football is brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, Today Chevrolet, and by Magnavox, smart products for smart people. Magnavox, smart, very smart.
victory bell is in place. It's a 21-16 ball game. Southern California will accept the UCLA kickoff to start the second half of play. Bruins jumped to a 3-0 lead first quarter. Emmanuel scored from 4 yards to make it 7-3. USC, then 14-3. USC 14-6 on Velasco's second field goal. His third one made it 14-9. And Pete scored to make it 21-9, and Aikman hit Moore from 10 yards to make it what we have at halftime, 21-16. Kirk Maggio will kick off. 3 people deep for Southern California. 21 is Calvin Holmes. Scott Lockwood's 41, and 34 is Ricky Irvins. One of the old traditionals, and it's just about what we expected. Winner goes to the Rose Bowl against the Michigan Wolverines, who had to survive a scare themselves at Ohio State today, 34-31. This is Holmes at the 4. Just short of the 25. They'll mark him down around the 24-yard line. And you saw just a moment ago, number 16, Calvin Pete, warming up, and here he comes to start the second half. Calvin Pete, Rodney Pete. Talk about golf. Where's Calvin?
Well, here's a look at the first half statistics. UCLA is dominating. Total plays, passing offense, total offense, and look at the time of possession. But the difference is Southern Cal has cashed in when they have gotten the opportunity.
Make it the 23-yard line for the Trojans. And the first carry goes to Lockwood, and he's going to lose a yard as the Bruins cover that side and jump all over him.
Jim Waller and Eric Smith.
And he hurt an ankle. He's hobbling off the field.
Scott Lockwood coming off the field for the Trojans.
So Lockwood goes to the sidelines with a twisted ankle. The ball comes back to the 22. It's second down, 11. I wonder where Willie is today. But he's watching. That is Rodney's daddy. And Rodney takes off across the 30 and up. Affolter covered it. Ball came. I thought I saw that ball come squirting loose, and Affolter jumps on it, and they're going to mark it up at the 35, and that'll be good for a first down. So Rodney Pete's first scramble is not terribly successful, even though it'll go down in the books as such. The ball did come out.
You know, Larry Smith has got to be holding his breath when he sees Pete cross the line of scrimmage. There's a reverse angle look at it. No question that it was a fumble. Affolter recovering.
So once again, it's Affolter involved in a big moment in the USC-UCLA game. Pete back to throw it. Good protection. Drills it down the middle, over the 40 to about the 43, and Scott Galbraith, who is a big, tough guy, tight end, makes the catch.
The offensive leaders for Southern Cal, Pete 8 of 13, not great numbers, but he has a touchdown passing. The rushing has been split out, spread around. The receiving, Affolter leads with 60 yards on 3 receptions and a touchdown.
Second down and a couple. Throwing on second and short, and Wellman can't come up with it. That ball was not thrown crisply. That kind of a play, you got to throw it crisply. The defense for UCLA, Lodish, Waller, Wilcox. Backers are Smith, Johnson, Davis, and Lake. The secondary, Hindley, Darby, and Eric, and Marcus Turner. It is 3rd and 2 from the 43. Ricky Irvins is the tailback. He has it. Bounces outside, gets the first down. And had it not been for Matt Darby, Irvins might have turned that into a big play. It will be a first down at the UCLA 47.
The big offensive line, Liggett, number 63, is the center. You got to wonder if that offensive line will not wear down the smaller UCLA line, defensive line, as the game wears on. That was a big concern for Terry Donahue before the ball game.
Kim Springer has gone to the UCLA side of the field. I don't know what he's doing.
25-second clocks are inoperable. We will not use it. We will time with the field judge.
And that's a disadvantage, Keith, to the offense, to the quarterback in particular.
First down. This is Irving, the tailback. And maybe a yard, nothing more than that. Lotus, number 94, was the first fellow to meet him wearing blue, and he met him with some authority. Notre Dame, continuing to win, will come west next week to play the Southern California Trojans at the LA Coliseum, and we'll have it for you here on ABC Sports. Third quarter, that's still close between the Huskers and the Sooners. Auburn, Alabama, they play next Friday. Second down, still close to 10. Pete rolls it out. Lake's after him. Gets a hand on him. Pete unloads the pass. And it's that kind of pressure and that kind of a play that could bite at his stamina. Because he was in bed for 3 days this week.
Carnell Lake, number 31. An outstanding defensive linebacker for UCLA, has tremendous speed. In fact, was a running back. Number 31 coming right through Leroy Holt. He's got 4.4 speed and can't catch Pete.
Third and still close to 10. We go in the books as 3rd and 9. Crowd starts to get into it a little now for the Bruins. Almost picked off by Marcus Turner. Almost picked off. Well, they'll have to punt it now. Marcus is still burning over Affolter catching that ball against him in the end zone last year.
Yeah, no question about that. In fact, he ran into Affolter in the department store about a month after that ball game, and he came up and says, "Hey, Eric, how you doing?" He says, "Who are you?" And he told him who he was, and we talked about old times.
Spurl's third punt of the day, 52-41. With Highland back to the 10, forcing Hindley into a fair catch, and there the Bruins will start first down. As USC continues to lead 21-16, 36-yard punt, downtown Los Angeles. Probably pretty quiet. A lot of folks watching this game. The Goodyear blimp Columbia, Captain Tom Mattis. Right after the game, they take off to San Francisco in our Monday Night Football presentation, Washington and the 49ers. They'll be bumping along for 16 hours. Hope the weather stays good for them. Be a nice trip. Here come the Bruins. They put it down at the 11 now. And Troy Aikman, he closed the first half sharply, has his first possession of the second half. And he gives it to Brian Brown. And he's up to around the 13.
Scott Ross makes the tackle.
The offensive leaders first half for UCLA. Aikman with an outstanding first half. 202 yards, 20 of 28.
Second down and 7. Pass is incomplete, intended for Brown. Out of the backfield, here's Al Trodwig.
Keith, we can clarify the Independence Bowl situation by telling you Wake Forest's tie with Appalachian State was costly. Just moments ago, Independence Bowl Vice President Paul Manassa told us that it will be the University of Texas El Paso with their first 10-win season ever taking on Southern Miss there. Back to you.
That's good news for the Miners, because I'm telling you, they were chewing nails down in El Paso when they thought they might not get a bowl bid. So that's good news for them. They worked very hard to restore their program. third down, Aikman deep drop. Caught, but well short of the first down by Mark Estrick, the fullback. Wayne Garner was over there. So in that offensive series, Bob, they throw twice to backs coming out of the backfield, and you've got a Southern California player hurt on the play. Michael Williams is the man who is injured. Timeout for him for just a moment. Let's pause 5 seconds to let our stations tell you who they are.
Gain on the last play of 3 out to the 17-yard line. 4th and 4.
With 11:09 to go in the third quarter, 21-16 ball game. Southern California leading. The winner plays Michigan in the Rose Bowl January 2nd. The loser, if it's UCLA, they go to the Cotton Bowl to play Arkansas. If it's USC, they go to New Orleans to play the SEC champion. Now here's Mike.
Well, Keith, you know, this is the kind of game where old legs feel much younger. Doji, I don't know if you'll want to suit up again, but it is something special to be back here down on this field and seeing those same Bruins across the way.
Well, I must admit, when I first got here, I got the feeling, you know, Al Collins and I was saying, boy, wouldn't it be nice to be out there? But then common sense prevailed, and I realized I'm where I should be on the sidelines. And the game is everything we thought it would be. We knew it'd be a hard-fought game. We knew Aikman would throw short passes and be effective with short passes. We thought we could keep him out of the end zone, and we did until that last drive. And this is anybody's game, even though I think UCLA has got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They were behind, you know, by as much as 12, 13 points in this game, and they're down by 5 points now. So if I was UCLA, I'd be feeling pretty good right now.
A lot of similarities between this game and 1967, Heisman Trophy at stake, national championship at stake.
I would say so. You got solid teams, and you got some great individual stars. And in that respect, I would say the game is very much like the 67 game.
OJ, I know you got your fingers crossed and your palms are still sweating.
I'm a little nervous. This kid, Brian Brown kid, scares me.
Keith.
Offense unable to get out of their own shadow back there, so they have to yield field position here after a 38-yard punt to Southern California. Affolter goes in motion, first down from the Trojan 49. Ricky Irvin with the ball, and he is down to the Bruin 48, close to the 47.
Jim Waller.
Now here's Al Trotwig.
Keith, a year ago when Columbia's freshman team went undefeated, we thought things would be looking up for the Lions. Indeed, they are. No reason to celebrate yet, but today's 31-13 victory over Brown was their second this season. It's the first time in 10 years that they've had 2 wins in one campaign. Back to you.
Second down and 7, 48 of UCLA. Pass low, Irvin scoops it up, and they're going to call him down. Call a knee down right there, just inside the 45. Oh, he almost got away.
Ball was a little low. Irvin's made a nice catch.
That's at the 45-yard line.
Knee down.
Knee is down.
Yep. How many times have you seen guys go back and field a punt, put a knee down and catch a ball? Yeah. Very seldom see it called, but I saw it last year, and 2 years ago, I guess, at a critical moment in South Bend. And he was right. It was a perfect call. Aaron Emanuel shows up now in the backfield for Southern California. Third down and 4. Peach pass to Jackson on the sidelines is good. Good at the 38 and a first down in front of Marcus Turner.
Take a look at the pass protection at the top middle of your screen. There's a linebacker blitzing, and it's good. Short pass. Pete has plenty of time. But the thing that you need to know is that the defensive front of UCLA is coming after Rodney Pete.
Down the middle, tight end Green inside the 10. That was a heck of a catch by Green. I think he just caught the tail end of the ball as it went by.
outstanding throw. Right here is a tight end Green. He's going to release inside. The safeties are going to split. There'll be nobody in the middle of the field. Pete sees it, sets it up very nicely. Tight end 17 is Green. Gets past the middle linebacker. Pete waits for him and dumps it in there.
29-yard pickup. First and goal from the Bruin 9 goes to Emmanuel. And he's down close to the 5. Parnell Lake on the tackle for UCLA.
Lake 31, Green 17 getting the block. Marshall 62 just out of your frame with an outstanding block. Lake came in with 4.5 sacks.
Calvin Holmes is now the tailback for Southern California. Second down and goal. He has the ball very fast. And he's knocked out of bounds down around the 2.
Brought down by
Marcus Turner and Doug Klein, the hit defensively.
Southern Cal has had 5 running backs that have played this year. Lockwood, Irvin, Emmanuel, Webster, and Holmes. And Chuck Stobert, their offensive coordinator, is saying if one of those would have played the entire season, any one of them could have gained over 1,000 yards. They're that good.
It is third down. The ball is on the 3-yard line, and the Trojans take a timeout to talk. Hall just up on the hill from the Rose Bowl. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. USC now with a third and goal from the 3-yard line. Emmanuel is now lined up behind Leroy Holt in the backfield. That's over in motion. They give it to Emmanuel. Touchdown.
Touchdown, USC.
Several times today about the power of the USC offensive front. I mean, they opened the door there.
We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the one big disadvantage, or the one advantage one team had over the other, they were very well matched everywhere, was the offensive line. I think you saw an example of it right there, the dominance of USC's offensive line.
They're going to go for 2.
Well, they're up by 9 points. This would put them up by 11.
They just got hit with a delay of game. All right, the 25-second clock not working, so he didn't see it.
Well, it's a big disadvantage for the offensive team. We mentioned that. When you have it working for you, it's in the end zone, the quarterback can see it, and you can control it. If he would have seen it, if it had been working, running down, he would have called a timeout.
Larry Smith changed his mind now. I see Rodriguez trotting onto the field, so they'll go ahead and kick the extra point to make it a 12-point lead. UCLA with 3 field goals and a touchdown to get their 16. He wanted to get it back to a 14-point lead, but instead, after the penalty, they give up on the 2 try and go for the 1 and make it 28-16 at 8:16 to play in the third quarter.
Take a look, another look at the touchdown. Again, an unbalanced line on the right side. Parkinson right here, 71 is going to pull. There's not going to be anybody for him to block as the unbalanced right side of the offensive line does a nice job. The fullback kicks out. Parkinson, 71, picks up a linebacker, and nobody touches Emmanuel till he gets in the end zone.
And Big John led the surge. Guerrero. They're 62 and 61. I mean, those 2 are a load.
Well, they both weigh over 300 pounds. That's a load.
All right. Emmanuel gets his second touchdown of the day. Brian Brown and Sean Wills are now deep people for UCLA. Rodriguez hits it. Short. Wills comes all the way up to the 16-yard line.
Don Wills.
And returns it up close to the 27. Now Al Trautwig.
Keith, in the 91st big game in Berkeley, Stanford leads Cal by 4. Who can forget 6 years ago, with 4 seconds left, Cal's wild 5 lateral touchdown for a victory? Well, for the first time since, a 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Kevin Scott today. I'm happy to report that no Tuba players were injured in the return. Back to you.
Not yet, you mean. All right, UCLA ready to go from the 27. They trail by 12. Brown goes in motion. Trojans jump on Russell Blue and move. They stopped them just on the snap.
Good ball. False start. Offense. Repeat first down.
So the penalty goes against the offense. That'll make it 1st and 15. Jacobson might well have been the man on the left side because that's where the movement came from the defense.
So look at the comparison of the two quarterbacks. Aikman having a much better day, but he needs to play better. Pete has more help on his side.
15 from the 22-yard line.
Ball back on the 22 after the 5-yard penalty. Throwing on first down. A lot of time, pass away, pass is drilled, good. But an instant hit by Spears on Corbin Anthony. And they get almost back to the original line of scrimmage. Now you get Richardson and Farr back into the game as Moore leaves. Second and 10 for the Bruins. Hand it to Brown. Well, O.J. said he was afraid of Brown, and he turned on a good one there to pick up a first down for the Bruins across the 45.
Since Eric Ball sprained his ankle a couple of weeks ago, Brown, who missed the first 5 games of the year with a hamstring, has gained over 100 yards in both of the last 2 games.
Number 79, Lance Zeno, is out of there now for UCLA. Jacobson is at left tackle as Aikman drops to throw it. Has a man, hits it. First down, Bruins, down near the Trojan 40. Corbin Anthony, the tight end. So that offensive front, he only had 6 people coming into the game. So he's got Jacobson at left tackle now. Minifield moves over to right guard, and Zeno is out.
Had problems injury-wise in the offensive line. UCLA has.
Chris Hale now is shaken up. Both Trojan cornerbacks have taken their licks today. And Spears early in the ball game, and now Hale is shaken. Avery Brooks invites you to follow real special agents on actual track down tonight. Then Eastwood at his best. Dirty Harry, who else? Magnum Force. All tonight here on ABC. Hale's got to come out after the time taken for the injury. Marvin Pollard replaces him, and on first down at the USC 40, will that be where Troy Aikman will go?
Won't be a bad spot.
He's got a full freshman in there at that corner. And the Trojans are pointing now, claiming offensive movement again along the front of UCLA. 6:44 to go in the third quarter.
Ball start, offense, repeat first down.
Well, NC State got a win over Pitt. Diddly bit of spoken during the week from Pitt and Bozick in particular about the way the bowl decisions were made. But NC State jumped them today.
Maybe a different team.
That's Jimmy Fossil's crowd at Utah really laid one on BYU today. On first and 15, Aikman with a deep drop. Goes underneath to Brown, and Brown is a yard short of the original line of scrimmage. Craig Hartsecker made the stop for SC. When you were, let's go back to your college days at Purdue, Bob, and with the experience of an Aikman, and I know you had it in your senior year, you were a wise fellow. You see a cold corner come in like that, wouldn't you jump him?
Yes, you do, and you try to get at him as soon as you possibly can. And that time they had a pass on, and they did have a man open in that area.
Second down, a little more than 10. Aikman going back and going big to the corner for far. No. Coverage on the play was Marvin Pollard. Well, they went after him and
took
didn't get it.
2 plays instead of 1. There's Pollard, the defensive back, a redshirt freshman that's in there for Hale, who was taken out with that foot or leg injury on the play before.
3rd and 10 on the Trojan 40.
Now Seau comes into the ball game, replacing Williams. And a timeout. 5:53 to go, 3rd quarter. The head man of UCLA football, his team down by 12 points, 28-16. Larry Smith in his 2nd season. Larry's never won a game here against UCLA in the Rose Bowl. This is only his 2nd year at USC. Came here with Arizona. 3rd down and 11. Aikman gets his pass away, intercepted by Spears inside the 15. Not quite high enough, intended for Reggie Moore.
He may have forced this one. Moore is out here. He's just going to release inside and run to the outside. He'll be double covered by both these defensive backs. Only 3 wide receivers out on the play. Comes to the inside, bends it back. And he was covered by 2 and not even had a chance of getting that one open. The only chance you have here is throw it deep, throw it long, and let your man Moore have the opportunity to catch it.
Irvin's the tailback. From the 15 to about the 18, maybe the 19 on the carry. That's the first turnover of the ball game by Ernest Spears right there, who made the interception.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
That's quite remarkable that they've played this long.
Yeah, it is. And that's Spears' first interception of the year.
All right, 2nd down and 6. Pete passing. Swings it out to the tailback. There's a 1st down up at the 27. Ricky Irvin's only a sophomore. Lockwood's a sophomore. Emmanuel is a junior. Holmes is a freshman.
John Guerrero, number 61. Take a look at the pass protection. That's Eric Smith, number 98. Smith says, you don't need your helmet. Let me get by you. That's a real battle right there.
On 1st down, Pete gives it
Ricky Irvin
to Leroy Holt. And out of the split back, the fullback carries it and muscles his way for about 4. Tennessee got a win today over Kentucky. Houston has finally gotten a lead over Texas Tech. Houston going to the Aloha Bowl, which you'll see on ABC Sports, against Washington State for Christmas Day. Washington State and Washington play a little later today in the Apple Cup up in the Northwest. That's a 6-yard pickup. I hope that's a 2nd down 4. And Pete looks. Apholter pulls it in. 1st down near the 40 in front of Henley. He's not the fastest. Are they going to bring it back and say what? No catch? Or a penalty flag? It's a penalty. But he is remarkable sometimes, some of the catches he's able to make.
He is an outstanding clutch receiver. Stobart, the offensive coordinator, was saying, he's just a smart receiver. He knows where to go. It's like he has a clock in his head. He knows when to break and be in the right area.
Holding, offense, penalty enforced from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
Well, that wipes out that particular catch of Affolter. 48 of 58 of his catches this year, to give you some idea of the quality he have been for first downs.
That's Marshall, 62, going against Pryor, 64. It was Guerrero, 61, excuse me, yeah. They're both huge. It's hard to tell them apart.
Second down and 15, trying to set up circumstance, and this time the heat really came from Craig Davis right up the highway. There was nobody around to pick up Davis, and he was under a full head of steam going after Pete.
He's only been sacked 13 times this year, which is the low in the Pac-10, so you don't get Pete very often, and then when you do get near him and he can't outrun you, he's smart enough to dump the ball off.
Well, it'll be third down and 15, and Aaron Emanuel checks into the backfield. Marcus Turner comes up to cover Affolter on the nose. He's dropped. He's got Emanuel underneath. And he's going to be stopped well short of the first down. Gets up to about the 32, and that leaves him a handful of yards short. And so they'll have to punt it away. With 3:28 to go in the third quarter. It'll be the fourth punt of the day for Chris Spurl. His first one was his longest, 52 yards. And Henley is deep to receive it. No pressure and a pretty good kick. Fair catch by Henley at the 30.
Fair catch by Darrell Henley.
38-yard punt. Good hang time. Here's Al Trotwick.
Keith, just underway in Morgantown, West Virginia. On the first possession, the Mountaineers use 11 rushing plays. The most important one, Anthony Brown's 8-yard carry to the 1. Moments later, Craig Taylor took it in, and West Virginia leads Syracuse 7-0, 9 minutes remaining in the first. Back to you.
Well, the Mountaineers have really had a year. Don Nehlen has really done a job at Morgantown. Old friend Fred Schaus, the athletic director there. All right, call it to 31 for the Bruins, and they need to get something happening. They trail by 12 late in the third quarter. This is Brown. He started searching, and at the end of his search, all he found was about a half a ton of Trojans to jump him.
Led by Scott Ross, 35, right in the center of your screen. Linebacker plays off the block of Minifield, 67. Makes the first hit, and then his friends come and finish it off.
Give him a yard. Second down, 9. Arbuckle comes to he's the tight end toward the bottom of the picture there. Flexed out just a little. Aikman sacked. Number 99, Tim Ryan. 6'5", 250 from San Jose.
Ryan is just a junior. He has started since his freshman year. This entire defensive line is a young defensive line. 1 sophomore, 2 juniors. They'll be around again next year. This defense is going to be even better next year.
Chris Hale is back on the field at cornerback, incidentally. This will be the 18th time now that UCLA has gained nothing or lost out of their 57 plays. Here's one zip. Pass is caught by Reggie Moore up around the 34-yard line, and I mean, that one was just flat smoking when it got there.
It had to be. There was a lot of Trojans in the area. They'd be short of the first down.
Yeah, you're taking about 11-yard sack on the play, and despite the fact he burned that one home to Moore, it was about 8 yards short of the first down. So once again, the Bruins have trouble moving the ball against Southern California, and Eric Affolter is deep now as Barkgate punts it.
Back to return.
It's a good kick. 16-yard line. Affolter comes back around the 24. And 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. You think Fuzzy can defend his championship in the 9-holer over in Arizona? The Merrill Lynch shootout. Ray Floyd, Payne Stewart, David Cross. A lot of folks around to challenge Fuzzy. They'll tee it up at 4 Eastern, 3 Central, and Pacific tomorrow on ABC Sports. Aaron Emanuel, Leroy Holt come out to start this possession for Southern California in the setback position. Double wide, Jackson and Affolter, and Pete gives it to Emanuel.
Aaron Emanuel.
And he'll have about 3 yards out to the 26. Sort of a lull in the game right now.
It's kind of after the first series of the second half. Second series, when SC went down and scored, both teams have had opportunities and really hasn't done anything with it.
Jeff Brown checks in at fullback. Wellman in motion. Paul Green, the tight end, with his second catch of the day. And he's up just over the 30 as the third quarter comes to an end. Finally got one. Tom Osborne winning another one from Harris Richards. Tom hadn't won all that many, but he got one today. Emanuel looking for the boundary side and is dropped short of the 30. Craig Davis leading the tacklers for UCLA. And the clock now shows 8:05 and counting. Ricky Irvin's in at tailback. Emanuel comes out. If Lockwood was healthy, they'd have 3 tailbacks out there beating on you.
It's unbelievable the amount of talented running backs that they have on this team, and they've gone through this year.
Lead on a rollout. Pass underneath. Irvin's out of the backfield. He's up to about the 34, and he is a good 7 yards short of his first down. Well, I guess that's not exactly a final, but there's less than a half a minute to play. So it's not a final yet.
Nebraska.
At the Nebraska-Oklahoma game.
You know, they played 39 of the last 43 years. One of those two teams has played for the Big 8 championship.
I know it. It's incredible. It really is. You got a timeout, 7:04 to play. SC with no more timeouts to call.
Nebraska scores only a touchdown and wins. Their defense stopping plays like this long Charles Thompson pass on Nebraska's 2-yard line as they shut down Oklahoma, giving them only 98 yards rushing on the ground. They beat them 7-3 today and head to the Orange Bowl where they'll face Miami, and Oklahoma will head to the Florida Citrus Bowl against Clemson. Back to you, Keith.
Thanks, Al. From the 34 now, here is one of the big moments in this ball game. I mean, it's a very big moment for UCLA. They need the football. It's 3rd down and 7. Deep down, after the 20, it's Chance Johnson.
Both linebackers are going to blitz. Here's Chance Johnson right here. When he gets close to him, he just brings him down. There's Johnson filling the gap. Pressure, trying to get some pressure on Rodney. Brings him down one-handed.
So, big play by Chance, the gunfighter. Imagine what Zane Gray could have done with him. Chance Johnson.
He was a defensive back in high school.
He was. Timeout. Both teams huddling on their respective sides of the field. UCLA called this timeout. They have 2 remaining. right, teams coming back on the field very quickly. Al.
In Morgantown, the Mountaineers trying to protect a 7-0 lead, and they get help on this Todd Philcox fumble as he approaches the goal line. But it all matters not in terms of the Fiesta Bowl, with West Virginia leading Syracuse 7-0. This game is set. Notre Dame and West Virginia in Tempe, Arizona. Keith?
Mountaineers. Now comes one of the big punts in the ball game for Chris Spurl. Henley is back. 5th kick of the day. For the SC punter, he fields it on the bounce. Low kick. Henley will try it. Good. Ball loose. Trojans get it. Chris Hale tripped up Henley. The ball came out, and Southern California pounced on it at the UCLA 34.
UCLA tried a little trickery, and it didn't work for him. Henley is the leading punt returner in the Pac-10, 3rd in the nation, has returned 2 for touchdowns. Of course, Southern Cal knows this, so they thought, well, we'll try a reverse. The reverse wasn't there, as Henley was being tackled while he tried to hand it off.
Yeah, he was, well, he should have just kept it.
Yeah.
Because he had no chance to get the ball to Turner.
Who was that, Carrier down there?
No, it's Hale.
Hale, number 2.
So a huge break for USC. Points and time now on their side. Calvin Holmes, the tailback, and he's got it. And he goes down quickly after a yard.
Matt Darby making the tackle.
It's tough to run wide against this UCLA defense. Their strength is their speed and quickness. They run from one side to the other very well. What Southern Cal has done with them is run right at them with their power to overpower. There's a look at the turnover margin. Southern Cal 2nd in the nation. That's taking the ball away more than you give it. They've gotten it 15 more times than they've given it away.
All right, Emanuel is back in at tailback. Muscle replacing speed. And Emanuel, running hard, pounds his way across the 25-yard line. Matt Darby finally brought him down. The crowd is 100,741. It's the largest crowd in the Rose Bowl for a UCLA home game, excluding the Rose Bowl game itself. So we're over 100,000 today. And 5.5 minutes to play in the ball game. And Southern California looking at 3rd and 1 at the Bruin 25, leading by 12. And Emanuel has the first down.
Terrence Johnson with the tackle. Gain of 2 on the play to the 23, good for a first down.
Second half possession. They get an extra one, the last one there at the bottom. UCLA 34-yard line, thanks to the fumble on the punt return by UCLA.
There's one set of numbers that really jump at you when you look over the assortment of them here in the second half. I'll give it to you in a moment. First down from the 24. Emanuel.
Aaron Emanuel.
They cover that play very well. USC in the second half, Bob, has run 41 plays. UCLA only 16.
I think that speaks to the defense for USC. We said coming in, they're very tough, and you know, Rodney Peete has gotten all of the attention when you talk about Southern California, but the defense is why they're such a tough football team.
4:25 to play in the ball game. 28-16, Southern California leading. The winner goes to the Rose Bowl. Emanuel up the middle. Inside the 10. First and goal, Southern California. Let's pause 5 seconds for our local stations to identify themselves. There's your score, fourth quarter, 4 minutes to play in the ball game. And the size and strength of that Southern Southern California offensive front now really beginning to assert itself.
Plus, they're trying to tackle a big back in Aaron Emanuel. This guy is really big, and he is running very hard.
He's got it again, bounces. And maybe a yard on that carry to about the 8 before Jim Waller puts him down. Notre Dame won today to remain undefeated. If Southern California wins here, and their chances now have brightened considerably over the last 5 minutes, we'll have a pair of unbeatens for you here on ABC Sports next Saturday afternoon at 3:30 Eastern Time. Number 1 and number 2.
That's the way it should be, isn't it? The last week of the season.
Well, Howard Jones and Newt Rockney really started something with those two. Emanuel. He scored twice already today, and his surge will get him very close to the 5-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and goal.
Brian Wilcox and
time remaining in the game, 2 minutes, 59 seconds.
Team other than USC and UCLA is Washington State. They're heading to the Aloha Bowl, where they'll face Houston, a winner today. Aloha Bowl officials almost didn't make it to Lubbock to give them the invitation because of snow in the area. Thankfully, a problem we won't see on Bowl Day, a bowl you'll see on ABC. Keith?
Snowing in Lubbock? This early? Well, since I've ever been to Lubbock, it's been red hot. The football is near the 6-yard line. Larry Smith, his Trojans leading 28-16. It is 3rd and goal for Southern California. And we got pass all over this one, but they don't. They give it to Emanuel, and he goes up the middle, and he is stopped around the 4. And that should get Rodriguez in the ball game. West Virginia rolling along in an unbeaten season, but they'll have their hands full before that one's done, I expect. UCLA has spent its last time out to kill the clock at 2:52 to play in the game. Fred Rodriguez, the place kicker, is on the field with the kicking team. Now, if he makes this, it'll be a 15-point lead for Southern California at 2:52 to play.
well, 22-yarder out of
a 22-yard try, up and good. Oh, that's a big 3-point.
Forces UCLA to score twice and make a 2-point conversion just to tie.
Number 1, Notre Dame meets number 2, USC, with the national title on the line. Next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
There's your score, and certainly the Bruins need something terribly dramatic very quickly, with only 2:50 left to play. The game has followed form. The only thing that would be called a bit of a surprise is the way that Rodney Peete has held up, playing quarterback through the entire game. Ball skitters down on the ground. It's picked up on the 14-yard line by Brian Brown, who finds some room on the sidelines and gets out of bounds up around the 40-yard line. And here's Mike Adamle.
3 years ago, the Garrett's Foundation, a group out of Miami, joined forces with the College Football Coaches of America to present this national championship trophy to the best team in the country. They will do that in January at their annual convention. They also award a scholarship to a non-football playing student at the national championship school. 2 years ago, Miami or Penn State was the national championship team. Last year, Penn State, and who knows, maybe this year, Southern California. Keith?
Got a chance. They play the Fighting Irish next Saturday. Back goes Aikman to pass. On first down from the 40, he gets it away to his fullback, Esprick. And he gets 5 yards on it. Second down and 5. Bruins hurrying. No huddles, no time. Clock running.
Ball on the 45-yard line, a gain of 5. Second and 5.
They don't have any more timeouts. Neither does USC. Aikman shakes off one, gets his pass off, incomplete. Spears knocked it down.
Aikman, the last thing he wants is an interception. The last thing that he wants is to be sacked. You just cannot be sacked. It's very tough, this situation. He needs 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions to score 16 points because they need a win and not a tie. Almost sacked by Owens, number 90.
He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. 3rd down and 5. There's his first down. Mike Farr. And Farr inside the 40, down to about the 37.
Brought down by...
Pollard brought him down. Oregon State beating Oregon today, 21-10. Boy, is that a win for Dave Kragthorpe. Eric Wilhelm and company. 37. Numbers on Aikman today, 30 out of 44, 270 yards. That is a new UCLA single-game completion record, breaking the 29 mark set by Tom Ramsey. That pass is beyond the reach of Lawrence Berkeley. But that does kill the clock and bring up 2nd down and 10. Lyon came off the field for Southern California, and he looked a bit gimpy when he came off, number 99. He's down on the bench now, and the doctor's attending to it. Ball is resting precisely on the 38-yard hash mark. McCracken coming back toward the ball. Aikman back. Good protection this time. His pass is good to McCracken. He looks for the sidelines and didn't get there.
Right, they stopped it.
Did he?
Yeah, they stopped it.
There's Tim Ryan being attended to. The defensive lineman for Southern California.
31-yard line.
Ball is at the near the 26, or it's a first down for UCLA. 1:50 to play in the ball game. Aikman's pass is no. Incomplete, intended for Berkeley. He's a junior from Oxnard. Chris Hale defending on the play. Hale always goes to the wide side.
Usually always covers the most difficult receiver for the opposing team. He started out at Nebraska on a track scholarship. Decided he wanted to play football, came back home to the Southern California area, and became a Trojan.
2nd and 10. For McCracken. Touchdown, Bruins.
Penalty flag, touchdown.
Penalty flag, back up field, hold everything. He got one down there where the pass was caught. I think that's pass interference. I don't know on which player. And up at the 25-yard line, you got a holding call that's going to go against UCLA.
Holding, defense, pass interference, defense, touchdown.
It's against the defense in both instances. And it is a touchdown.
And Donahue has to go for 2 points. He needs to win this game, not tie it. The long shot. Take a look at the interference on Spears, number 3. Oh, no, that's pretty close. There's another angle. It's a great effort by McCracken, number 12, the ex-quarterback. That's close.
He was boxing his ears. Good play by Brendan McCracken. Frustrated at quarterback, went to wide receiver, found a place to play. Going for 2 now. 31-22 ball game, 1:41 to play. Aikman's pass is no, not good. Intended for Mike Farr. If Troy could have waited a breath longer, he might have been able to complete it. Mark Carrier was in the way, and he just couldn't get it to him.
Good defensive coverage. Carrier, number 7, forces him to throw a perfect pass. And I'm not so sure that if a perfect pass would have even gotten in there. Good coverage.
So it is now a 9-point difference. And you know what's coming.
What that missed extra point, that missed 2-point conversion means is that now UCLA has to score twice more.
First, they must be successful with an onside kick. All the backs and receivers. And I see Green, a tight end up there. They're all up on the run. Now, UCLA is one of the teams that I can recall, Bob, that pursued the onside kick, caught it 11 yards downfield, and immediately the man never broke stride. He just, boom, scored. All kinds of funny things can happen.
No question about it. They're kicking from the 50 because of the penalties. You know, as well as Troy Aikman and Pete have played today, it's kind of interesting to note that one of them may win the Heisman Trophy. The other one will not even be all-conference. There's a possibility either one of them may not be all-conference because the leading passer in the nation is Tim Rosenthal, who was a quarterback at Washington State. And he's had an outstanding year.
All right, here it comes. Velasco will kick it. Hale got it. Chris Hale, quarterback. He was on the secondary line, and he took the ball and went right to the ground with it. And at 1:40 to play in the game, Southern California has the ball at their own 39-yard line.
Looks like a chorus line. It's a good kick, low to the ground, bouncing around. Hale does a nice job getting down low to field it, the other men getting up front to throw blocks.
Now all Southern California has to do is run out the clock because UCLA has no more timeouts.
Aaron Emanuel.
Emanuel working the sidelines, knocked out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock at 1:35. And your most valuable players in this ball game are these. Rodney Peete for Southern California, 16 out of 28, 189 yards, a touchdown on a pass, and a touchdown on a quarterback sneak. Troy Aikman for UCLA, 32 of 48. That's a record-setting performance for him. School record, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of them was intercepted.
And he was going against a very tough defense today, Southern Cal. I wonder what Rodney's going to do after the ball game. I wonder if he's going to check into the hospital again, make sure he doesn't dehydrate himself from playing.
I would think so.
Recovered or what?
Emanuel running up the middle. They shut him out of bounds down at the UCLA 33. I need to finish with the Chevy most valuable players because Chevrolet, in the name of those two players for each of their respective universities, will donate $1,000 to the school's General Scholarship Fund to assist young people in continuing their education.
Gain of 25 yards on the play.
Following the ball game, we're going to do a quick interview with Rodney Peete and Larry Smith. Then we'll take a station break. This is for our local stations. And then
Aaron Emanuel.
We'll come back with scores and some highlights to bring this old traditional day of college football to an adequate close. Ball is on the 30-yard line now. And Aaron Emanuel has gone over 100 yards, 27 carries, 113 yards, and 2 TDs. And a disappointed group there. UCLA headed for the Cotton Bowl to play Arkansas. January 2nd. Southern California will be right back here. January 2nd against the Michigan Wolverines.
Before that, they'll be right back here next week playing Notre Dame.
No, they'll be in the other big house.
Oh, right back in L.A. Right back here for me. I mean, I fly to L.A. every week.
41 seconds remaining to play. Penalty moves the football back to the 35. Darrell Henley wishes he had that ball back instead of trying to hand it off to Turner on that attempt at reverse.
Well, that was a long shot anyway. Yep. They needed to make some big plays.
All right, Pete gets the clock running. 25 seconds. They got to do it one more time. But the Bruins can't stop it now. They've burned their timeouts. They got to make one more snap. That's what Larry Smith
one more play.
That's right. Well, it's the 6th game in a row that this USC defensive bunch has held an opponent to under 100 yards rushing. UCLA had 73. But when you talk about this defense, you're talking about a good one. And that will do it. The Southern California Trojans have defeated the UCLA Bruins 31-22. And it's USC headed for the Rose Bowl against Michigan. But there is one more big one to be played in the regular season for USC. That is undefeated Notre Dame next week from the Los Angeles Coliseum, and we'll have it here on ABC Sports. Here's Mike Adamle.
It can only happen in the land where they make movies. A great athlete overcomes some adversity. But Rodney, Pete, I know you're the first to admit you had a lot of help today.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of help, especially this guy right here next to me, Big John Guerrero. The whole team, offensive line. I just thank God that let me get back healthy and let me play today. And I love these guys I'm playing with. We're the greatest team. I love these guys.
Everybody worried about your stamina, Rodney. How do you feel right now?
I feel great right now. I'm a little tired, but I still feel great because we won.
When you found out you contracted the measles early last week, what went through your mind? Did you say, why me?
I did. I said, why me? But I prayed a lot, and I just felt a little tired early in the week. But I just somehow knew that I'd get back to playing this game, and I just thank God I was able to do that.
A couple new wrinkles offensively I saw today. The delay to Paul Green, and then having Aaron split out, and then hitting Paul over the middle, and of course that knee to the ground almost.
Yeah, well, we had that play in all season. We just waiting for the right time to use it, and it didn't work, but it was kind of fun to run.
Another big game next week against Notre Dame, but you're going to savor this one, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get the Irish next week.
Rodney, congratulations. Great. Thank you. Way to go.
And there's the juice.
Like old times around here. We are FC.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Al Trotwick will be along very shortly to close out the day for you, because this has been an exciting, traditional day of college football. There's some old great ones to be played, but this one follows along in its usual pattern. It is one of the best. And today it was Southern California to win it. They won it now successively with an upset last year. Today they dominated the second half to win 31-22. Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, Mike Adamle, we hope you enjoyed it today from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The executive producer of ABC's college
in the bowl situation. First stop, Notre Dame. They were able to beat Penn State today 21-3, so they'll stay on top and look forward to USC next week. First losing season for Penn State in 50 years. USC in a game you just watched on ABC, a big win, 31-22. They'll go to the Rose Bowl. UCLA to the Cotton against Arkansas. Coming up tonight, Miami of Florida, third ranked, will take on LSU. Syracuse and West Virginia, a game still underway. In the second quarter, the Mountaineers holding on to a 14-3 lead. 3 first-half turnovers for the Orangemen. Nebraska gets by Oklahoma 7-3 to go on to the Orange Bowl, holding Oklahoma to 137 yards total offense. Michigan over Ohio State, a game some of you may have seen on ABC Sports, 34-31. They did it in dramatic fashion, blowing at one point a 20-0 halftime lead. And now that'll set up the bowl situation, which we can detail for you. First of all, we'll take you out west, where we'll see that the Mid-American Conference and the Big West Conference will be represented by Western Michigan and Fresno State in the California Bowl. Moving ahead to the Independence Bowl, it'll be Southern Mississippi, who clinched that a couple of weeks ago, and the University of Texas El Paso with a big win today and just easing in at the last minute, beating out Wake Forest for the honor. Moving on, we tell you that the Sun Bowl will be the Army team that lost to BC in Dublin, Ireland today, and Alabama, coached by Bill Curry. Next is the Aloha Bowl, a game you'll see here on ABC. Washington State, only the third representative from the Pac-10 in any bowl, and the Houston Cougars, coached by Jack Pardee. In the Liberty Bowl, it'll be South Carolina's Gamecocks. They've struggled in recent weeks, but they should be a good game against Indiana's Hoosiers. In the All-American Bowl, it'll be the Florida Gators against the Fighting Illini, coached by John Makovic, a successful year for them. In the Freedom Bowl, Colorado's Buffaloes and BYU's Cougars will meet. In the Holiday Bowl, the champions of the WAC, the Wyoming Cowboys, will take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and Cowboys will be everywhere there. The Peach Bowl, Iowa, who was unable to beat with their 5 wins, a team with a winning record, surprisingly, will take on North Carolina State, an honor being selected to the Peach Bowl for the Hawkeyes. In the Gator Bowl, Georgia's Bulldogs and Michigan State, who clinched it with a win today. In the Hall of Fame Bowl, either LSU or Auburn, depending on what happens in the Auburn-Alabama game next week, and they'll take on Syracuse. In the Citrus Bowl, another bowl you can see here on ABC, Clemson, the champions of the ACC, and the Oklahoma Sooners, who lost today in the Big 8 title game to Nebraska. The Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, the champions of the Southwest Conference, undefeated conference play, Arkansas and UCLA, losers just moments ago to USC. The Fiesta Bowl, this could be for the national championship for Notre Dame's Fighting Irish and West Virginia. The Rose Bowl, to be seen here on ABC Sports from Pasadena, Michigan representing the Big Ten and USC. And in the Orange Bowl, Nebraska winning their game today with Oklahoma and Miami of Florida. And the Sugar Bowl, another bowl game to be seen here on ABC, Auburn or LSU and Florida State. So that